Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take two random characters with a random weapon, combine them using the Genetically Modified Overkill mod, and see if we can beat the game with the resulting monstrosity. Let's see what we've got today. Now, of course, once again, because the random button doesn't work in this mod, we have to use the wheel. So we get to inject some drama into seeing what characters we get. And we've got the Apprentice, always a super fun character because of how much damage you rack up. But of course, it's going to cost us maximum health. So let's see what's going with it. It looks like the Jack. This should be actually, I think, a pretty strong combination. Jack is good for economy. Apprentice gives you a lot of stats. We will just get one shot if we get hit by an enemy. Let me find the Apprentice. Where is it again? Here we go. We will just get one shot if we get hit by an enemy because the Jack's increased damage and the Apprentice's increased enemy damage and the Apprentice's decreased health can be a challenge. But hopefully we are up to it. We've got Torch as our weapon. That is not... So it's good and bad. Torch is very good for the Apprentice because you scale, you just gain melee and elemental damage for free. And so you're going to scale both damage types that the Torch scales with. That's probably the last hit that I can take for the rest of the run as I just walk into an enemy there. But on the other hand, it's not great for the Jack because you really want to burst down enemies. So we'll have to see how we can make this work. We also do get the primitive weapon tag, which is really nice for boosting our relatively low max HP, especially in the early game. I will take 5 harvesting here. I mostly want to focus on damage, so I'm not going to do too much worrying about harvesting. But when you get 5 early, it's still really nice. Take the Torch. You pretty much never need to buy flat damage on the Apprentice. So normally with charcoal, with Torch, I'd be very happy to buy charcoal because it scales both damage types that this weapon uses. But on the Apprentice, we just get all of that naturally anyways. So we're going to roll a couple times and see if we can find another Torch, and roll one more time. Gentle Alien, obviously amazing for the Jack. So although we missed a little bit on Torches, that's not unusual because this is a weapon with multiple weapon tags. It's a primitive weapon, so there's a lot of other things that can show up. And Gentle Alien should help us scale our economy amazingly, so not a bad first shop overall. Making okay money at this point, but definitely could be better. Here, I'm going to reroll, and 2 elemental damage looks tempting because obviously we're a Torch build, but again, we're the Apprentice. We're going to get that for free. So let me reroll one more time. I think I will take percentage damage. We don't get that for free, and then I'll take some move speed as well. And so that will help increase the damage output of our weapons. I also really want to level these Torches. Torch levels extremely well. It's very important to level it up, because as you can see, both types of damage scaling increase. So you need to level Torches in order to get them to deal reasonable damage with the actual weapon attacks. And then here I think I will just take the coffee. Attack speed is going to be really important. We have a level 2 Torch locked, so I could have rerolled to try to find a level 1. But because... as I mentioned previously, this is a weapon with multiple weapon tags, and primitive is one of them. We're not that likely to find a Torch each time we reroll, so better to just buy the other item, and we'll just be happy that we found a nice level 2 weapon that we can buy next shop. Knockback. The high knockback on Torches is very helpful, but Abyssal Terrors does have a decent number of enemies that are immune to knockback, so we do just have to be aware of that. And that could cause some problems for us. I actually have better HP and better defensive stats than I thought I would. So it's possible I can buy some armor and build a more traditional build with some defensive stats. I think I'm going to reroll once here, but I will actually just take 3 regeneration. I think we will be able to get away with building some defense. We'll take the Torch for sure, fertilizer... Oh, I thought I would have enough for the Gentle Alien as well. Duct Tape, I'm not going to take. So probably there. I think this is still the right set of items to buy, but I should have done the math correctly. Duct Tape, I'm not going to take because you can't spend HP on the Apprentice. You lose 1 every time you level up. We'll take a torch here, and then I will reroll again. Broken Mouth we're very happy with. Sharp Bullet is actually somewhat interesting for this character. The Apprentice gets a ton of free engineering, so if we get a Pocket Factory, then the Sharp Bullet could be pretty good, but we don't have anything like that yet, so I'm just going to focus on making sure that our damage output is as high as possible. I definitely want, if I can find it, baby geckos. Yeah, so the lamprey is one of the enemies that's immune to knockback that we're going to be facing on this run. And it has a lot of health and does a lot of damage, so definitely need to be aware of that. I think I can kill this curse alien, and I was wrong, so unfortunate there. But I will take 8 harvesting, just boost our harvesting to 24, and then I'm going to reroll, and we'll take 3 more regeneration. We're about to reduce our regeneration by buying the Broken Mouth, so finding more is really good. Alloy gives me a bunch of flat damage that we don't really need, so we're just going to pass on it, because again, you don't need to buy that stuff when you're playing the Apprentice. But I'll take another Broken Mouth and a cake, and suddenly our max HP is actually looking pretty good. If I get just some armor and regen, we might actually be able to tank more damage than I was expecting to. The Elite is always going to be a problem. This weapon, of course, is really bad at single target damage, as we saw last wave when I struggled to kill the Curse Alien. And even now, when we're struggling to kill the buffing aliens and everything. I'm gonna ignore the Curse Aliens here. I think I was just spending too much damage on them, just too many attacks that weren't actually giving us extra money. And I really do need to be increasing the strength of the character every wave. Here I'm just going to take 3 regeneration, and landmines I will take. We're the Apprentice, and it gives me a free reroll. I believe I can afford all of these items, yeah. So we get a free reroll here. The actual engineering damage is not great, because as the Jack, enemies have nearly 3 times their normal HP, so landmines won't be killing stuff, but potentially this can work with a scared sausage that we might find, and it's a little bit of extra damage for pretty cheap. I'll buy another one, and we'll take a weird food as well, so pretty happy there. I'm going to try to combine to a level 4 torch, but I think I'm going to try to get all level 2s first. Because when you combine your weapons on your elemental weapons, the way that burning damage works is whenever you hit an enemy and set them on fire, they gain the highest possible, the highest of the duration and the damage remaining of all burning effects that are on them. So if you have one high-level torch, then your lower-level torches are going to refresh the high-level torch damage. So it's really efficient to have one max-level burning weapon. I don't really need 10 harvesting. As you can see, it's wave 6. We just made 300 materials. So I'm pretty happy with my harvesting. I'm just going to take some HP here, and then I'll take 9 movement speed as well, since that can help me keep ahead of these enemies, and also will help a lot for fighting against bosses. Another thing that's nice about having one level 3 torch is we have the snake effect. Torch gives you the effect of a snake at level 3 or 4, so getting one of these to level 3, because we happen to roll into one, is actually really helpful. I'll take a Scar. On the Apprentice, gaining levels does cost you HP, but is still good, and I'll take a Corrupted Shard. Even though I'm not super interested in working hard to kill the loot aliens, I still want Curse if we can get it, and percent damage is really good. We'll take a Peaceful Bee. Losing melee damage just doesn't matter. We're just gaining so much as the Apprentice. I'm going to reroll one more time here, and we'll take a Gentle Alien as well. Another awesome find. Ideally, we get to the point where we kill enemies without having to wait for the burning ticks, because that just makes us much safer. If the initial damage from our torches actually kills stuff, then we're in great shape. Good that we're able to just set everything on fire. Although, in real life, having problems with that. I had a there was a box fan in my house that was really squeaky, and I opened it up, and the retaining ring that keeps the blades attached to the drive shaft had melted completely. It was overheating, so I'm glad I caught that before it set my house on fire. Sharp Bullet I will take here when it is free like this, or almost free. Minus 5% damage is definitely a real penalty, but it's so good if we get turrets and Pocket Factory and stuff like that that I think it's worth grabbing anyways, because we're the Apprentice, so we have so much free engineering. Here I'm going to take 3 armor, because we have none, and then we're going to take 6 more max HP. Buy all of these things, and then roll, and pick up a Scar. Fuel tank, again, we don't need at all, because we just get so much elemental damage for free. It's just not worth spending money on, and then we'll take a torch here. I have minus 3 knockback, but torch has inherent 20 knockback, so I don't really need to buy boxing gloves. It also only crits for 1.5x, so we're not buying the insanity. I will take another torch, and that'll let us get our level 4. The campfire I'll take, even though the elemental damage isn't that important, the regeneration is still pretty good, so we'll grab that, and I guess I'll take a cauldron as well. We're leaving a lot of materials on the ground, so the extra pickup radius can be extremely helpful. I think I will probably invest in dodge in this run. Oh, I should have run after the loot alien here. I didn't really see it in time. We might still be able to kill it if I hit it enough. Yeah, okay, we got it. Nice. I think I will want to invest in dodge this run. We're wealthy enough, this is a high economy enough run, that we can benefit from buying dodge. Like, we'll be able to buy dodge without losing too much on everything else, because we're gaining free damage, Jack has high economy and all that stuff. And having dodge just can help us avoid getting one-shot by the bosses. Nail is awesome here. We're getting tons of free engineering as we level up, and so this will just increase the damage scaling of our weapons significantly. Let's roll. I feel like I can do better than that. You know what? I'm going to take a level 4 speed upgrade, and then here I could take 9 HP, 9 dodge, or 10 attack speed. Any of those would be really nice, but I think if I'm going to build dodge, I actually want to get that going right now. As you buy more dodge, each point of dodge gets better, so starting to invest in it now is helpful. Oh, whoops, I definitely was supposed to combine to level 4 and just buy that torch first, so a bit of a mistake there. I think I will just go ahead and grab one level 1 torch, and we'll make sure we get the level 4, because this gives us 9 seconds of burning and 35 burning damage, so it's just a huge upgrade to the amount of damage that we're doing. Wow, what a shop. Alright, we'll definitely buy all of these. So I still need some more max HP, obviously, and as the Apprentice, it does feel weird to take anything over a level 3 max HP upgrade, but given that we already had some dodge, that was a 9 dodge upgrade, and I think we can get to dodge cap pretty soon, given that this is a very high economy run. It seemed better to invest in the dodge to me. And I'll have time to pick up some HP, which is generally easier to find than dodge is. Making sure that all of the most important enemies on the field are on fire as much as possible. And of course I have to kill the loot alien. Wow, it just explodes into money. We're getting so much money every wave, it's amazing. Definitely taking the metal plate, small fish. I think I will take this for 10. It's not amazing for us, but I think it's okay, and we'll take a turret here as well. 3 regen is pretty nice, but I think I need to roll for max HP if I can find it, so I'm gonna do a little bit of rolling, but I'll take 12% damage, and then here we'll grab 9 more dodge for the same reason we did last time. So I definitely need to find some max HP now, although I will still buy leather vest, and another fertilizer. How many fertilizers is that? 3? Any run where you get 3 fertilizers is gonna be a good run. Take a recycling machine, and then I will roll again. I keep getting these amazing economy items that I just can't pass, but it does mean that I haven't been able to buy max health that much because we're buying all these awesome economy items. At some point, I'm going to have to stop getting really greedy and make sure that I'm buying some max health. Fortunately here, we have found an alien worm with +3 consumable heal. I will take that, and the padding we'll take as well. 94 for 3 HP is not a great ratio, but on this character, we still want it. Even though we have 2 landmines, I'm not buying the dynamite. It's just not part of our plan, really. And then Weird Ghost. I have enough regeneration, especially with the plant, to pick that up, and Handcuffs is definitely not what this character needs. Capping our HP this low is pretty risky, and we just don't need the damage. So the lesson is, if something electric in your house is squeaking, definitely take a look at that, because it might be a real problem. You know, sometimes I'll give some life advice here, but that's one that you should really pay attention to. I think I can kill that. Yeah, nice, we got it. The tentacle, I'm gonna recycle. We have a recycling machine, and it's worth 50 materials. That's so many materials. I really want to improve my attack speed, so I'm recycling that. Another leather vest definitely cost me some health, but we're almost at dodge cap already, so my prediction there was pretty good. We have no luck, so I will take 15 luck, and then let's re-roll this, grab 12% more damage, and then 3 more armor. So, not bad at all. Snowball, again, I'm gonna pass on, because we're not buying elemental damage, really, so obviously seems a little weird, potentially, to pass a snowball in a torch run, but that's the benefit that the Apprentice gives you, is that you don't have to worry about buying stuff like that. We'll take the coffee and roll. Another fertilizer, sure. I think Snail is actually worth buying going into the elite waves. I'm a little worried about the elites, so having an item that helps us dodge them better is pretty nice. And we'll take fried rice and lock the plant as well. Those, of course, are both awesome. So here I need to be a little careful, because obviously we bought a Weird Ghost, but we have pretty decent regeneration and a garden with 5 consumable heal, so I felt pretty safe to do that. I do like that one swing, so like one set of burning, is enough to kill the healer aliens. Because for a slow damage build like this, when we're playing the Jack, those can be a real problem. Enemies have so much health, and our damage is dealt slowly over time, so the healers can really put a cramp in your style. White flag, obviously recycling that. We'll definitely take a fairy. Suddenly that fixes our regeneration completely. Celery tea, I cannot take here. Doubling enemy health going into the elite wave. So it's not actually doubling health, because it's additive. So it'll take it from plus 175 to plus 275. So normally celery tea is pretty good for the Jack, because it, relatively speaking, doesn't make enemies that much harder to kill. But going into an elite wave, we need to be able to kill everything else on the field pretty quickly in order to have more space to dodge the elite, which celery tea makes harder. I'm gonna roll here. I think we can do better, and I'll roll again. I guess I'll just take 4 regeneration, and then here 12 dodge, which gets us up to 50 dodge. Definitely not bad. Alright, awesome finds here with the Broken Mouth and Muscly Dude. Up to 52 HP, which for the Apprentice is pretty good. Do I want a Bean Teacher? I've got 80 XP gain already, but you know what? Let's get a little greedy here, and then I'm going to roll. We will take a Lemonade, and we'll pick up the Hedgehog as well. No, it's -1 regen for +1 regen, so there's no point to doing that. Blood Leech for 2 regen I could grab, but it would ruin my perfect 69 harvesting, so we're going to roll past it. I will buy the Black Flag, but I'm going to wait until next wave, because I don't want to give increased enemy damage to the Elite going into this wave. And we'll pick up the Beanie as well, do another reroll, and go fight the Elite. Alright, so this is the most difficult Elite in Abyssal Terrors often. So hopefully we can survive against it. Fortunately, we seem to have actually enough damage to maybe kill it. So I'm gonna try to do that. I definitely could use more attack speed. Killing it is a little harder than it looks, so our damage is good enough to kill it for sure, but every time I take a hit, we lose a lot of DPS against it, because it's super dangerous to take hits on this character with low health and increased enemy damage. But we were able to take it out, which is awesome. I really was not expecting to be able to kill elites on this run, but I guess the Jack has bonus damage to elites, and we just have so much extra base damage from the Apprentice scaling both halves of the torch damage that we just have really solid damage output on this character. Wheat, I will recycle for 120. I think that's fine. And then Robot Arm, we really don't need to double down on this effect. Losing 2 HP or 1 HP every level and 1 HP every wave would be just too much. So I'm going to recycle that. Pretty happy we have the recycling machine there. Let's take the +8 HP. It's not the best use of our Barnacle, but it's not bad. And then here, just going to take 5 regen. Going up to 45 is pretty nice. We'll take a Black Flag here and roll. A leveled up Torch is great as well. Wisdom, all our damage is dealt pretty slowly, so I think Wisdom's actually pretty good for this character. And I've got like 50 base HP. Some of our health is from the padding. But the Duct Tape, when it gives me an armor and engineering to scale our nail damage, not that important, but relevant, but mostly an armor and a regen, I think it's worth it. Here I will take Torch, Cake, and I'll buy the Jelly as well. Just 1 health is worth it for this character. I could get a free reroll with the Black Belt, but I just don't think that that's a good item for us still. On the other hand, Ice Cube is a great item for us, so we're very happy to see that. That's just a huge increase to our damage output. It's funny seeing one of the Blobfish break and 3 Lampreys come out, because they're affected by the decreased enemy spawns of the Jack, I think. I think that's what happened. Either 3 Lampreys came out, or I just missed one and it died really quickly. Get that tree kill, and then I want to kill the Stargazer before it buffs itself, because a powered up mini-boss would be pretty tough to deal with. Fortunately, I have managed to get enough armor that even though I'm taking some damage and we're the Apprentice, we've actually managed to build enough defenses that I don't have to be as scared as I thought I would going into this run. I really thought this would be more of a like no-hit challenge type of situation, but as is, we're pretty okay to just tank damage because we've got really good defensive stats. Take 27 attack speed, that's awesome, and then we can upgrade our torches, grab defective steroids, and roll. Combine here, buy a torch and a spicy sauce, roll again. Bag, even this late, should be good, and little muscly dude is just more HP. So now our HP is actually fine. I think I'll pass on the goat skull, though. And we'll lock the torch, buy a gentle alien, lock the alien worm. Yeah, with +3 consumable heal, that's still worth buying, and I'll still take the turret. I'm still hoping that we can find a pocket factory or a scared sausage or something to start scaling our constructs, and if we find improved tools, clockwork wasp, similar items, then we can get a lot of value out of just having a bunch of random constructs on the field. Once, like probably a year ago now, somebody posted like a 4-paragraph rant about how mad they were that I sometimes said constructs instead of structures, which is the term the game uses. So now I do it all the time in the hopes that that person has an aneurysm. Here, I'm going to probably just take the charcoal. One more regeneration is pretty good. And then I will take 5 speed. 16 dodge gets us over dodge cap, so that's awesome. And then I'll reroll. We've also gotten a lot of levels because I bought a lot of XP gain and we're making so much money every wave. Don't think we need any of that. Don't really need any of that. I'll take 20 luck, though. Luck is pretty nice to have more of here. I can buy a torch upgrade, but unfortunately the level 1 torch actually doesn't do anything for us because we can't improve that any further. Strange Book is enough bonus stats, and Lighthouse also. These are enough bonus stats that even though we get a bunch of free stats from the Apprentice, if I buy both of these and then find a pocket factory, then suddenly our engineering is super high, and those scale our damage from nail, I think. So we're going to end up with huge amounts of bonus damage from those. I should have checked. Yeah, well, they do scale our damage from nail, but I should have checked our damage before we bought those because it would have been fun to know how much that improved our damage output. Wandering Bot, I don't think does that much for us. All right, so you can see here, this elite also always really difficult to fight. And it still does enough damage that I have to be pretty cautious about taking these extra hits. I need to run away now. This stage is actually easier to fight than the first stage of this elite, I think, in general, because as long as you just run around it in a spiral in the second stage, it can never hit you, if you have sufficient move speed. But the first stage, where it's shooting attacks out in a spiral, can be pretty dangerous sometimes. Fortunately, we have made it through. Medkit is just a ton of regeneration. Even at the cost of 10 luck, we're very happy with that. We are over dodge cap, so I don't need the dodge here. I think I'm just going to reroll. I will reroll again, and I'm just going to take 20% attack speed. I was briefly considering fixing our range, but as you can see, the difference between 135 and 175 just is not that significant, so I'm just not that excited about picking up that range. I'm going to take the metal here. We'll take small magazine because I do want a lot more attack speed, and then I will roll again. Adrenaline is excellent, and I'll still buy a campfire for the same reason I did last time, which is that the regen is really good, even if the elemental damage isn't that important, but, you know, we still do elemental damage, so it's certainly not wasted. I would like to get Pocket Factory or Scared Sausage which of course are always the items that you are most excited for on these types of elemental builds, especially once you've found Strange Book and everything, and because the Apprentice gives us so much extra scaling with engineering. Here I'm just gonna reroll, I think, and reroll again. I'm really looking for armor, but I'll take attack speed, and I'll roll here and take... I think 1 armor is still better than 8 max HP, actually. We'll take the jerky for sure. That's just a lot more healing. And at this point, how am I feeling about the chainsaw? Because chainsaw is kind of fun. It does scale with lifesteal, which we have negative lifesteal, and obviously it is not a torch. I think it's not exciting enough to break the challenge rules here. Definitely taking eye surgery, and we'll take Cyclops Worm and reroll. Pick up a coupon, lock a head injury, and roll again. And level 2 torch is good enough. Boiling water we don't really need, I don't think. We just have so much actually, we only have 40 elemental damage, so +2 is still pretty relevant. I'll take the boiling water. Again, because we have fairy, so it gives us regen as well. And it does help scale our Strange Book as well. Buying elemental damage gives us engineering, which then gives us weapon damage from the nail. The ratios there are so bad that it's not worth really considering, but it is a real thing. That's something that you will see often. I think that's a very common error that people make, is just because Nail or Frozen Heart do technically scale your weapons with elemental or damage or engineering respectively, they do so at a terrible ratio. So it doesn't make it correct to just start buying a ton of engineering as soon as you have Nail. It's more about whether it gives you a bunch of damage when you buy it. Now, this character has so much engineering and continues to get it, so obviously Nail is awesome. But if we buy 5 engineering, that increases our weapon damage by 1. Whereas if we buy 5 elemental damage, it increases our weapon damage by 5. So you can see how much better it is to buy things that actually fully scale with your weapons. Yeah, I'll take the metal detector. Black belt we don't really need at this point. And ricochet. Losing 25% damage when we only have 39 is probably too weak. I do love ricochet. It's one of my favorite items, but we just don't have any projectiles, so I'm going to recycle it here, sadly. I'll take 5 armor, and then we'll upgrade our torch. Just going to buy all of these items, which is great. Roll again. Immediately punished, because I definitely would have bought the particle accelerator if I'd bought the ricochet. Because ricochet with particle accelerator is so fun. It's one of the few weapons that actually duplicates its projectile with ricochet, so it makes a whole second particle accelerator beam. Do I buy it anyways? I do like this weapon a lot, and I don't, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that we're going to lose this run. So let's take the particle accelerator and just have fun torching the bosses with it. We'll take an eye surgery here and roll. Silver bullet and gentle alien are both good, and I'll take an incendiary turret as well. Missile is good here because our percent damage could really use an increase as well. Obviously, the conceit of the random challenge is to use a random weapon, but this is such a strong run. There's just no chance that we are going to lose. Definitely wishing I had the ricochet, though. It would be so much cooler. This weapon just looks so cool. They did such a good job with the animation and for the projectile. Or the beam, I guess. Especially when you get more than one of them. Which hopefully we will in the next couple waves. Let's re-roll this, and I'll just take 2 armor so we don't die. 20% more attack speed seems pretty good to me as well. Take the incendiary turret, missile, ashes. Yeah, I can buy this as well. It costs us 1 armor and 3 regeneration, but fixes our range, which is relevant to the particle accelerator, and still a little bit to the torches. And then also just gives us a bunch of attack speed and damage, which we want very much. Take another gentle alien and lock the crown. Obviously is not going to do anything here, but you can't be the king of Brotato without it, so obviously we want it. And then let's roll. We'll take a penguin as well, just to max out on regeneration and go to the next wave. So now that we've bought the ashes, our particle accelerator beam is slightly less stubby. We're no longer just having gotten out of a cold pool. The jack is just so satisfying because every time you kill an enemy, they just burst into showers of cash, and it just is really great just getting to watch that happen. I know this is a character that many people dislike, but it's always been one of my favorite even before they buffed it, and now it's also just one of the stronger characters in the game as well, I think. We'll take the muscly dude here and then reroll. Let's grab 16 move speed. That sounds fun. Then we'll take some attack speed, buy the crown so that we can crown ourselves with glory. And then our first couple cursed items. It's funny we got those this late, but I'll definitely take a bunch of armor here. A roll, and the turret and campfire I don't think matter that much. I think I'm just going to roll past all these and look for something cool. Warhammer is kind of fun. We can spend an awful lot of money on it, as is true to life. But at least it will give us a hobby where we can hang out in basements. Let's recycle the torch and buy the Warhammer, just because I want to see it reset all the cooldowns of our turrets. And then I'm going to re-roll a couple times, and nothing super exciting here, so let's go fight the bosses. 720 materials is about right for getting into Warhammer, I think. I do like how dorky this weapon is. Look at the swing animation on it is so not impactful. Like, you would think it would have a huge wind up and kind of slam down on enemies, but instead you're just kind of vaguely bonking them with it like a wiffle bat. All right, well, that was a fun run. Definitely a very powerful one. But we were able to just scale our damage so much that we could just obliterate anything in our path, and it let us showcase some pretty cool weapons. 60k damage from the particle accelerator compared to mid 20k, like 25k on average between the torches, and then 50k from the Warhammer. It's funny that this torch did 33 and this torch did 12. I guess I was on one side of the enemy and not on the other side a lot of the time. Taking a look at our other items, landmines, they acquitted themselves reasonably well with 15k damage. We got 53k from the turrets, and I think we only had 2 of those. Yeah, so 54,000 damage from those is pretty good. That's what having 108 engineering will do for you. 16 levels affected by Barnacle, so millions of stats from Barnacle. I can't count that high personally. And 530 materials from the recycling machine is great. We got 265 from Black Flag, a little low, but obviously with the Jack, the extra money is mostly from cursing the enemies, which then have the multiplier for material drops from curse multiplied by the Jack multiplier. So the Black Flag gives you way more money than it looks like. This is just, we killed 265 cursed enemies, but those were worth a lot more money than just that 265. The wisdom worked out fine. The bag, even though we bought it late, was pretty good. Spicy sauce did nothing, but that's okay. Oh, I guess we had 3 turrets. No, okay, still only 2. Yeah. So yeah, 54k damage for 2 turrets is really good. Strange Book for 47 engineering, and Lighthouse still giving us 14, so definitely not bad at all. And I guess the nail ended up being, what's that, like 22 damage per weapon, which is pretty cool. Incendiary turret for 15k, and nothing else super important. All right, well, that was a really fun run. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, and if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out a ton with the algorithm, so I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.